Hi, everybody. This is Caroline Zwick from carolineswick.com, and I am really excited for today's interview with Millana Snow. Hi, Millana.
Hi,
I'm so happy that you're here.
thanks for having me.
Sure. So, before we start the questions about today's topic, which is gratitude, I just want to give everybody a little intro and a little quick hello, and like explain to them who you are. And so, I'm going to read your bio. So it says Millana Snow is a true Renaissance woman, co-founder of Serene Social, the international wellness and networking community for women with branches in New York, LA, and London. Millana is also a model and TV personality who some might remember as Project Runway Season 8 model winner, as well as the host of Webby Award-winning show The Vagabond Project. She has also worked with CoverGirl, L'Oreal, and Yves Saint Laurent. A true believer in the power of intention and a daily gratitude practice, Millana has created Get Thankful, a 26-day gratitude challenge where she empowers her international group of students. And I love your bio so much, and I think it makes so clear why you're, an expert in the work of gratitude, which I think is, becoming such a buzzword to begin with these days. So my first question really for you is, what is your definition of gratitude? Like, how do you really define it for yourself? What does it mean for you?
Well, for me, gratitude is really about feeling the love and appreciation you have for the moment just as it is. I think that's really the biggest thing, because if you don't have that, you can't have gratitude for anything in the future, anything that happened to you in the past. You can't have gratitude to things that you don't have or that are out of your reach. It's really about the moment, being in the now, and being in appreciation and feeling and experiencing the love that you have. I think that's what gratitude is. Just even something as simple as noticing what you have and then feeling the love towards it. Or I also say being able just to see the beauty in things around you is gratitude as well.
Yeah, so just appreciation, as simple as that. And I love that you focus it so much on what is currently happening, like what is happening in the moment, rather than, I think a lot of times, when I ask people what are you grateful for, or when I'm asked that question, I almost sometimes tend to pick out things from the past, right? Like specific things that maybe happened a year ago or whatever, rather than really focusing on why I can be grateful right now and all the things that I have now,
Yeah, well, I have to say, I often think about all the great things that happened in the past. I'm like, oh, I'm so grateful that I came to New York or that I graduated from college or whatever. But the way that it really became clear to me that we have so much to be grateful for was when I was reading The Magic by Rhonda Byrne for the first time. And she was saying, think about the fact that you have running water. And I remember when we had the hurricane here, a lot of people lost common things like electricity and running water, but in New York City, that's quite common for most New Yorkers.
Yeah.
But when you lose something like that seems so second nature, you realize, oh my gosh, I don't have to carry water on my shoulder or on my head every day to drink it. I don't have to boil it. I don't have to make a fire to have light.
Yeah.
I don't have to rub wood together to be able to read at night. Those things you have around you constantly, and those are major things to be grateful for. And so it's really just seeing the beauty in that and stopping to recognize that there is so much around you that you don't even think about.
Yeah, so creating a gratitude practice then is really experiencing life deeper, right? Because I think, especially again, in cities like New York, it's so easy to sort of be buzzing on the surface and I don't have cell reception. Why don't I have cell reception when I'm in the subway? And you get sort of consumed by these sort of very surface level needs or wants more so than needs, right?
Yeah.
And you forget about the fact that all of your actual needs are met.
Are already taken care of, and then some. I have a favorite practice, and it's called the observation walk. And actually, my boyfriend and I did it. We did a couple exercises together as I'm writing my book right now, and one of them is the observation walk that we did. And I said, babe, we're just going to go on a walk, and we're just going to walk around our neighborhood, and we're just going to observe the beauty in this moment that we have taking this walk, and just really see where we live.
Yeah.
So I said, just notice the details, see the beauty, take in the moment, and really feel the love and appreciation towards it. And it was, we didn't even want to come home after like 10
Yeah.
minutes. We were in complete bliss. By the time we got to Madison Square Park, we were sitting down and we were just like, do you feel that breeze? Oh my God, the breeze, it's amazing. And it's all those things that surround you at all times. And that's really what when they say, there's so much beauty in the moment,
Yeah.
we really have to stop and realize that those things are real gifts because we won't always have them. Some of these things, they may not last. And so the people we have around us may not be around us. Well, they won't be around us forever.
Yeah.
And we won't look the way we do right now. So everything that we have right now, there's just so much beauty in it.
Yeah. It kind of goes back to like the power of focus, right? Like wherever your focus is, that's what you see. So if you choose beauty, like I want to see beauty, that's what you're going to see. If you make your focus, I'm going to look at, everything that's wrong, then everything you're going to see are the things that are wrong.
Absolutely.
A friend of mine actually just told me about a really fun practice. She did something similar on the subway because, again, like in New York City, there's such a sometimes tendency to like be kind of like negative and grumpy, and like you want everybody to like get out of your way, and like on the subway, like you want to be the person having a seat, and like you tend to be like sometimes get into like a judgmental mindset. And so she started this practice on the subway where she would like go through each person on the subway as she was riding to work and say something nice about each person, like, oh, this person has beautiful hair, or this person is wearing beautiful shoes, or like whatever it might be.
Yes.
And again, it's like the power of focus,
Yes. And it's so fun too when you start to do that, people just start smiling at you.
Yeah.
People will wave at you. I mean, I love doing the observation walk because sometimes I'll be like, wait, is there something on my face? Like, what is everybody looking at? I've literally had people go, hi, I mean, you just start radiating so much pure positive energy that it's just, it's amazing.
Yeah. And they might recognize you too.
I don't know. Sometimes maybe, but who knows?
Yeah. So funny. That's amazing. I love that. Okay, so I want to dive into your story because I know that you have such an amazing story and you've experienced so many wonderful things in your life. But with a focus on gratitude specifically, like how has that changed your life? What was your life like before you discovered a regular practice of gratitude and practice it actively? And what does it look like now? Like what are sort of the things that really shifted for you?
Well, this is kind of silly, but I joke with my girlfriends. My girlfriend was just telling me, she's like, I've been doing gratitude and I feel like nothing has really changed. And I said, all right, let me give you a list. I gave her a long list of how her life has changed in just like the 2 times that she's been really working on a full-on gratitude challenge. And I told her, I said, girl, it took me 4 gratitude challenges to get a boyfriend, okay? Like, I with her. Because she was like, I still don't have a boyfriend. And I'm like, no, it took me 4. It's okay. I have to say, my whole life has changed. A relationship is one way that it's changed. I think, before I really didn't even appreciate or pay attention to the characteristics in a partner that I really truly wanted. And by the time that I really got that gratitude ingrained in me, and I really think it takes a daily practice over, long periods of time. That's why my challenge is 26 days, because it takes 21 days to break and create new
patterns,
habits and patterns. And I think it takes even more than that to really make that a part of your life consistently without fail. And so, just in general, I find that my outlook is not so up and down, and it still takes work. It still takes work for me to not be neurotic or not be, up and down. But I can say that I have an inner dialogue now that's a lot stronger. And I have so many tools to rely on. If I'm not feeling the way that I know I should feel, I know I can just start saying thank you. Just start saying it. And I know that if I say thank you for a minute, I will actually feel better. It's just things like that. Or I know that I can smile and really feel grateful when I see somebody and smile at them. And that will make me feel better. So I've been relying on those, and those are my defaults now. And so for that, I mean, I definitely think, my being an entrepreneur, I think that's gone a lot better because I don't freak out when things don't go right for me. I'm able to flip that around. I still have those thoughts. I still have those worries, but I'm able to down faster before
Yeah.
it gets too downhill. My relationships with my friends are better, with my family. I actually have completely reunited with my entire dad's side of the family in LA, and have spent tons of time with my entire family in LA, and have just had an amazing time because of gratitude. So there's just been so many things that have changed, but my life really has gotten better. I can't lie. And I know
Like,
it's not a coincidence.
yeah. What I'm hearing from all of that, I think kind of like a common thread is almost that you've sort of like elevated your security, right? Like how you feel about yourself, like going from like a more sort of like insecure way of existing where you believe in the doubtful thoughts, where you believe in the thoughts of like, oh my God, I'm an entrepreneur. What if everything is going to hell tomorrow? Where am I
Yeah.
going to be? And because I think those thoughts and those sort of like anxiety driven mindsets can run us crazy, right? And it sounds like what you've done with gratitude is you've sort of elevated this level of trust that like, no, but I'm grateful. And like, these are the wonderful things in my life. So you shifted your focus to the positive, and that's allowed you to increase the trust that you experience in your life and find self-esteem and self-security through that.
Exactly. It's just, they're just tools, and then you continue to use those tools, and then you have default habits now that are just a little bit better, and then you just keep going. You just keep going up the ladder.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you, sharing that part. Also, not saying, oh, practice gratitude for 26 days, you'll be set for life, you're never going to have to do anything. Like, I think it's really important for people to know that it requires continuous effort, and that these are tools that you then have in your toolbox that you can use continuously, and that it's not like you or I are running around with these perfect, carefree, easy lives where like suddenly everything is not challenging anymore. I think that's
Exactly.
important for people
Well,
to know.
this morning I was watching Marie Forleo, and she's got, some great commentary. And one of the things she was talking about, someone was asking, how do I feel better about myself when I see all these women doing so great and having it all? And I think, just reflecting on some of the things that she said, I think it's really important, and this goes hand in hand with gratitude, to know that everybody struggles. Everybody constantly has to stay on themselves. It is actually called work for a reason. Like, doing this gratitude work is work. Keep your energy levels up. You have to be constantly mindful of where you are.
Yeah.
Mindful living. And it gets easier with time, you have better habits with time, but you still have those old programmed thoughts come up, old fears, even new things that come up as you progress in your life. So there are unending questions and worries that will pop up here and there, but it's the tools that you have and the habits that you have that help you make those transitions a lot easier.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I found the same thing to be true in my own life as well. So I really appreciate you sharing that. All right, so for you, you've taken, this gratitude work, and you've not only like applied it to yourself, but now you're also teaching it to other women in your 26-day challenge. What was the motivation for that? Like, what was the moment when you knew? And I know, you're also the entrepreneur and the creator of or behind Serene Social, which is such an amazing platform for women as well. And you're spreading so much of the things that you've learned in your own life through that community. But what was sort of the inspiration behind it?
Well, it really came out of, I had a lot of frustration of my own. I had a lot of staleness going on in my life. There was a lot of energy that was kind of just stagnant. And the first time I actually did a gratitude challenge was with myself on reading The Magic. And literally within days, it changed my life. And I was like, whoa. This gratitude stuff, I thought, is like, oh, this is what I need. And at the time, it really was, I'm just going to read this book, and I'm just going to do what she tells me to do. And then I had a little bit of like stagnation probably a year later, and I was like, oh, I know what I can go to. I can go back to the book.
Yeah.
And I can go do it again. And so I then thought, wouldn't it be better if I did this with a bunch of people? Wouldn't it be so cool if I went on the Serene platform and shared this with my friends and the women in my community? And so it really came from a place of frustration and stagnation, and then having this epiphany, oh, you know what, I'm not the only one that feels this way. And oh, I found a solution that helped me with this before. Let's try this again. And that will also help me to hold myself accountable. And when
Totally.
I had the idea, it was a complete download. I had this just download of how to structure it. And one day I built the entire 26-day program and launched it a week later. I made myself do it a week later because I wanted to just get it out there. I wanted to do it. And now this will be my 4th time doing it. And I'm not kidding you. I've had the craziest stories, not just myself, but the stories of women and even some men who've done it. And it's mind blowing because then you get to see what's happening to other people, and it's more confirmation that it's real.
Yeah.
So it's just been, I mean, I even have a student, she's actually a friend of mine, Tegan. She hated her job. She just graduated from Yale, amazing architect student. First job out of college, they treated her like crap. She said her boss used to literally yell at her in front of everyone.
Wow.
And she was in the office one day, and she said she was doing her gratitude list, and she just decided during her gratitude list, I'm done. I'm not working this job anymore. That next Wednesday or Sunday, she said on the phone call, hey guys, guess what? I'm quitting my job. And she said, and yesterday I emailed my old boss, who just so happens to be Zaha Hadid, or her old professor, I should say, her old professor, Zaha Hadid, who's the #1 female architect in the world, infamous. She said, I emailed her, and within 2 minutes, Zaha called me and offered me a job in London. Guess what? I am now going to be working for the world's most famous female architect that's ever lived.
Wow.
I'm to London, and she is in London right now working for Zaha Hadid, loving life.
It's amazing. I love that because she's elevating her standards, right? Like I think when you're grateful, you're no longer willing to put up with things that don't serve you and like negativity that you maybe before thought you just had to kind of deal with. And you become more resilient to putting boundaries and creating higher standards for yourself. And that's when you invite other opportunities into your life as well.
It makes you more daring when you see when you're able to see how much you have around you that's supporting you at every moment. It makes you so much more daring. And I always give the group thoughts of the week, and that thought of the week was take the leap. You know, I always say you want to have a certain amount of energy that you can build up behind you. And I felt like by week 2 of the class that we had all done a lot of work and everybody was flying high and they were seeing tons of synchronicity and the energy was really ripe. And I said, okay, guys, the thought of this week is take the leap and the net will appear. What does that mean to you and how can you take action? Because the energy is there to support you. You guys have built it up. You're good. And that was her. She took the leap. And when you do that gratitude every day or any practice that's about uplifting your energy or your vibration, when you do it on a regular basis, you have so much more leverage to go forward in the things that you want because you have that spark.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're driven by positivity, right? Because the goodness already exists and you finally see it and therefore it will continue to create itself versus being again stuck in this place of negativity and lack.
Exactly.
You will never create abundance if you are operating from a place of lack and
exactly. Yeah, that's why it's good sometimes, to not take action when you're feeling low or sad or depressed or lackful. Sometimes it's really okay to just kind of let it settle and then slowly work on little things. And like I said, you can just say thank you all day for anything and everything, even if it doesn't even feel real. You could just be like, this is such bull, this is not, I'm not thankful for my room. My room's uglier. But just move past that and just fake it and say, I love my room. Thank you. You're so bright, and you can make it up. And if you do that for a day, you'll start to shift the energy. And by day 3 of faking it, you start making it.
Yeah.
And then it becomes your reality. And then you have more leverage to take action.
Yeah. And I love that. I come against something similar, with my clients with affirmations, where we come up with positive affirmations for them specifically. And then a lot of people are like, I feel like I'm lying to myself. And like, is this just fake stuff? Like, I don't really believe it. And it's like, well, if you're so used to seeing the world in one way and you start to shift it and see it another way, it's kind of like learning a different language, right? Like at first when you speak a new language, you're like, oh, I'm doing this wrong. This doesn't sound real. I feel like I'm not good
Right.
enough. This sounds
Right.
fake. Da, 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 da. And then the more you practice it, the more you start to be confident in it, and you can actually see the things that you want to see and say the things that you want to say, right? And so I
Yeah.
think it's interesting. Like it really is like learning a different language or like a different way of
Absolutely. Well,
seeing the world.
we're also very much into affirmations when we do get
Mm-hmm.
thankful, because I 100% believe in the power of affirmations and the work of affirmations. And it actually, my girlfriends and I used to get together every Sunday, and we would just write down our affirmations and refine them together. And for some reason, I got really into it. Like I would be like, okay, let's refine it even more. Like how can we make this even more explosive? Like I would get so into it. And
Yeah.
every week, I kid you not, we'd come back and we'd be like, whoa, you will not believe what happened to me this week. And then we'd say, okay, how can we refine this even more? Because it could be an ever-changing thing. But you just say it. You say it, and then you start to feel it, and then you start to see it. I always say there's a few different layers of manifestation. The first is that you feel a difference. That's the first manifestation. You feel a little bit better. And then you start to see some synchronicity. And it may be completely unrelated to your affirmation or what you're working on or what you want. Completely unrelated. And then if you keep up that energy, you keep it moving, the momentum will start to make you see signs of what you are asking for. And that's really, people sometimes stop at the, well, I just feel good. Okay. No, that's it. You're going in the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like you have to like continue to follow the good feeling in a way and
Yeah.
like become a little detective. I love that. Okay, so can you tell us a little bit more about Get Thankful? Because I know it's a challenge that happens in New York City and it's about to start on August 31st.
Yes.
So people who want to be part of the challenge, do they have to be in New York City?
No, it's an international group, and I am opening it up to men as well because we've had some men in it, and they've been
Yay.
awesome.
They need
So men
help
are also
too.
yeah, men are also welcome.
Uh-huh.
We have I've actually set it at a time where it's pretty accessible to anybody in any time zone. So it starts at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, ending at 5:30 every Sunday, and then you have your own individual daily practices that you'll get sent straight to your inbox so that you can do it first thing in the morning when you wake up, and that's just automatically sent there to you no matter what time zone you're in. You'll get it first thing. And this is my thing. I just say, look guys, I'm helping you to do something that we should all be doing that we just don't do.
Yeah.
And sometimes some of my students or people in the group, I hate saying students because we're all learning from each other, but sometimes people in the group will say, well, I already have a gratitude practice, or I already do all this work. I'm like, yeah, but if you get into a group, there's so much more power.
Totally.
There's
Yeah.
so much more momentum and just solidifying of what's working. And especially when it's a positive synergy, there's so much support and love. And so every Sunday we have these phone calls where we're sharing and supporting. And then I've also added on 4 teachers, amazing teachers, everybody from Agape Sassanopoulos, who wrote Unbinding the Heart, amazing.
Such a good book. I love it.
Yeah. She's amazing. She's become like an auntie. She's like my Greek auntie. I adore her. Fireball, she is.
Yeah.
Latham Thomas, who wrote Mama Glow, who's also working on
She's
a new book
wonderful.
about letting your glow energy out. And a couple other really amazing teachers. So each week you get a chance to really get inspired again. But every day you're doing the work, and I'm basically helping you to do something that you should do every day. So I've been thinking about just changing it to do this every day, because if you do this every day, things really will change. And I always say, I can't tell you that I'm going to change your life with 26-day practice, but I can tell you that gratitude will change your life. So I'm helping you do gratitude every day. That's it. And I can tell you, I can promise that will change your life.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, any of these practices, if you do them regularly, like I think that's one of the keys also is like, you can't just do it like, once a month and like expect big results. Like you have to be dedicated to the work and to the transformation that you want to create for yourself. And so I love that you made it 26 days. And I think that sounds like a wonderful, beautiful length. And we met when we were listening to Agape. Do you remember?
Right.
Yeah. And I think
We
she's
had a
so
magical
wonderful.
union when we first met. That was freaking magical.
I know.
That's funny. Yeah, when we first met Agape, and now she's become a great supporter Yeah, that's funny.
I know. When I saw her on your list, I was really excited because she's so wonderful, and of course, Latham is so wonderful too. So you've obviously created a beautiful surrounding, a beautiful community for yourself, and a great, sisterhood in a way too, and that's so important. So I definitely recommend for everybody to check out the Get Thankful challenge. I'm going to put it right underneath the video. But before we head out, I want to ask you, what's like the one thing, like if somebody's like, okay, I want to start a gratitude practice, right? Like, what would be sort of like one piece of advice for like even how to write down what somebody's grateful for? Because I think that can even feel overwhelming a little bit,
For sure. Well, the one thing, I mean, I'm such a gratitude pusher now, as I consider myself, that my friends would come to me with an issue, and I'm like, just do gratitude. Like, just start gratitude. Like, you're going to solve it with that. And they're like, okay, what should I do? I'm like, well, just get out a piece of paper every morning, if you can. Maybe you have to do it later in the day, but at least every day, start with a week. You're like, for 7 days, I'm going to write down 10 things that I'm thankful for and why. So an example could be, I am so thankful that it's a beautiful, warm, and sunny day. Because I finally get to get out and get a beautiful tan. Now that might sound like that's so surface and just silly, but no, that's a really amazing thing that you get to have, because I bet you if you read it 6 months from now when it's cold and 25 degrees, you will be like, I wish I could do that now. So really, it's so simple. It doesn't have to be grandiose or deep. It could literally be, I'm thankful for the beautiful new sheet set that I got because it's so soft and it makes me feel like I have a little bit more luxury in my life. Simple, simple, simple. Write 10 of those. The other thing to remember, every day.
10. Okay.
And you can add, I have a million other practices that I add to that, but that's kind of my baseline. And I have to also stress that it's very important that you write that list of 10 things without interruption. Because what you're really doing, the truth is, you're building energy. So you're reveling and marinating in love. And if you can just spend 10 minutes of like just marinating in love and appreciation and goodness, that's when your world starts to flip on you. That's when things start to reflect into you a different way. So don't drink your coffee, don't listen to music, don't look at your phone, don't talk to your boyfriend. Get somewhere quiet and say, hey guys, I'm sorry, I'm doing my gratitude list. Give me 10 minutes and just write without stopping. Let it flow. Nothing is stupid. Nothing is trivial. And I promise you, even within a week, you will notice a difference in your life.
Yeah, I love that. So I have one question really quick, and this just sort of popped up as you were giving your piece of advice, which is, I think, so wonderful. If somebody, for example, really wants to work on a specific issue, like let's say a woman has identified body image as like her one really tough issue, or like that is really, making her life less pleasant and less joyful than she wants it to be. Do you think that then like the gratitude list should be focused on like 10 things I love about my body, or can the gratitude list be really larger? Like it should really be about gratitude in your life as the whole person that you are?
I think it's really about going general first, because whatever you resist persists. So if you're really like, I gotta get better, I have to get better, I need to get skinnier, it's just gonna get worse. And actually, for that particular thing, I have a fun appreciation, gratitude practice about that. So to answer your question directly, go general. If you want to work on your body image, don't start with, I'm so grateful that I'm working out 5 times a week because I'm going to get skinnier faster. No. You should say things like, I'm so grateful that I'm finally taking care of myself in a way that I've always wanted to. Because it's healthy, period. Or general, I'm so grateful that I appreciate my body in new ways I never have before, period. Go really general. Don't go specific until you start to feel it, because you kind of got to work your way in. Otherwise, you're resisting, and that just becomes a little bit more of the problem than the answer.
Yeah, and I think with that specific example that you just gave, it also, I think, makes the gratitude more about like the person that you are. It's more about being versus the things that you do, like going to the gym 5 times a week. Like that's still
exactly something. And appreciate how, because you realize that you want something, how you're moving in that direction.
Yeah.
Appreciate that greater subject, you know, that, oh man, I must be getting better in my health and wellness because I really care now about how I feel in my body. That's how you can work in that direction. Another little trick that I have used that I think is so awesome, and it's so real, people don't believe me. Some people say, well, Millana, this way, I know you're a model, like what are your secrets? And I'm like, I just visualize and I just focus on the things that I like, and honestly that works a lot. Don't get me wrong, I work out and I eat healthy, but you know what, I really just appreciate the things about myself that I like, and not in a way that's full of myself.
Full of you, yeah. And just like
and
a kind
I always use this
self-appreciation.
example. Let's say you and let's say you did want to lose weight and you want to be more healthy, and you're constantly looking at how you look, and you're like, I hate how I look, I don't like it. Well, focus on your hands. Wow, my hands are so nice. Maybe one time a day, wow, my fingers are so long and pretty and feminine. And I'm telling you, if you did that every day for a week, people would start coming up to you and say, wow, you look so much thinner all of a sudden. What have you been doing? I do it all the time, and I'm not kidding. It happens all the time. People just say, you look taller, Millana. What is it? I just decided that, I just want to be, I just want to live bigger. So I started living big in my life, and I guess that's why everybody thinks I look taller.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how real that is. I'm not making it up. You should try it.
All right, I'm going to try it. I will. I'm going to admire and love my hands for the rest of the day. Oh gosh, okay, I love it. And I love that you have so many like anecdotes and little stories. I think that really helps to like understand and illustrate, what specifically it is that you do when you practice gratitude. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing all of this amazing information with us. You're obviously an expert, and I hope that everybody's going to check out the 26-day challenge and join Millana and her other 4 amazing experts.
Yes, please check us out. It's an amazing group of women, and there's a few men all over the world. I'm super excited about this personalized, and that you're getting it every day to your inbox without fail. You're going to do it, and it's an exciting time to, end the summer off right. So,
All right, thank you so much. Bye.